Okay, so I am not a crazy person. I didn't purchase 2 PlayStation VRs and intend to keep them. What I originally did is I originally pre-ordered PlayStation VR. And then I realized, and this is going back about 6 months, and then I realized, well, you know what? I'm probably better off getting the launch bundle. So I pre-ordered this, and I never canceled this. And the reason being is because I didn't know what the availability would be for PlayStation VR. I didn't know if it would sell out, and it would give me that 6-month time period to decide if I wanted to, which bundle I wanted to keep, or which set of PlayStation VR that I wanted to get. So originally I got this from Best Buy, or actually I did end up getting this from Best Buy, but that's where I pre-ordered it from. And I specifically set it up that I would pick it up from one of the local Best Buy stores, hopefully at a midnight launch. But if you see this video early or close to when it was posted, you'll realize that I didn't get it at a midnight launch. You'll even see some daylight here in the video. So they didn't have any midnight launches in my area here. And they ended up sending me these. I wasn't able to pick them up at the store. So it actually put me probably about 36 hours behind the curve on getting this when I could originally have gotten it. So there you go, regular PlayStation VR, which is just the VR headset, and then the PlayStation VR bundle, which includes a camera, which I already have, so I'm going to be selling my PlayStation camera. It includes the Move controllers, 2 Move controllers, and it includes the VR Worlds game. This retails for $3.99. This retails for $4.99. So what am I going to do with this? Well, I'd love to give it away, but it's not going to happen. I'm just going to return it back to Best Buy. So, let's take a quick tour around the box. You have, of course, a representation of everything that you get in the box here. It does say Launch Bundle on the front here. Rated Mature is the game in there. I don't know what makes it mature. You have your PlayStation VR branding up here with your characteristic Sony square X triangle circle here with a little swoosh and the Sony insignia or Sony brand up here. On the left side of the box you have your PlayStation logo with more of that swoosh here. On the back of the box, 5 unique worlds to explore. The London Heist, Ocean Descent, Scavenger's Odyssey, VR Luge, and Danger Ball. I assume those are all the things that you do get in here. And PlayStation VR is powered by PlayStation 4. At the time of filming this video, you can only get a regular PlayStation 4. You cannot get the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is coming out next month. So performance on this will be probably good, but not as good as when the PlayStation 4 Pro comes out. So it says further enhance your gameplay with official PlayStation peripherals. You can it advertises the Platinum wireless headset here and the PlayStation VR aim controller here. At the end of this video, I'll give you a quick tour of the box that I don't open. So there we go. Seal broken. I believe that's the only seal on this. And let's open this up. So first thing you might notice is the PlayStation logo. It's upside down for you here, but that is the PlayStation logo. So this entire section here is the VR headset, and then over here is probably everything else. So there you go, not upside down anymore. So this is a piece of plastic here. I assume it's to help lift this out. And there we go. The other part is here, again, PlayStation logo here. And let's see what we've got going on here. This is the main event. And I'm going to assume that this plastic piece slides off, and it does. Alright, so, looks like an interesting box here. Alright, this is going to open up very interestingly. Alright, wow, very fancy. You'll notice back up here, there's a little cloth piece here, a ribbon, to hold that part of the box open. So that's what the box looks like when you open it. Okay, PlayStation VR Quick Start Guide. And it's in English and in French in my territory here, all that blue color. Really don't think, well, I will need it, I suppose. Let's put that to the side. Generally, you don't look at documentation, but for this, you probably should. First thing up here is, let's see, okay, just the power cord. Regular power cord. Next up is, okay, let's try it from this end here. Okay. This is probably that little companion piece, I would imagine, but let's get it open to find out for sure. Okay. Instruction manual here on the side. This is that little companion piece, probably to maybe help boost the video fidelity. So I think you can see the, well actually, yeah, it has, yeah, that's an HDMI splitter. So it'll take your HDMI signal and it'll push it to the TV, and it will push it to the VR as well. So the first cord we have here is a micro USB cord. We have some headphones here. We have a power brick, and here's that little companion box here. And it actually looks like a mini PlayStation 4 in some ways. It has some of the aesthetic choices with that line in there, and your PlayStation logo here. It's all matte black plastic. Looks like there's a lot of venting in here. I would imagine, again, this is going to be boosting the graphics card on the PlayStation 4 itself. Looks like you have, well, you have the triangle, circles, X, and square here. You have your Sony branding here. There's a little bit of glossy plastic in the ridge here, and wow, look, I just pressed this back. That's interesting. So this piece moves because you're going to need these ports here, and these are HDMI ports. It's probably a pass-through here, and on the back you also have HDMI ports. So you have an HDMI to TV port here, and an HDMI to PlayStation 4 port here. Over here, it doesn't label them, but they are two HDMI ports here on the front. So we'll figure that out when I actually use it. This side has a couple little screws in there, and on the back you have the micro USB port, power port, and a fan. So we can remove this, and of course, when you remove plastic on plastic, it means glossy plastic. Alright, this is interesting. Up next we have an HDMI cord. Then we have, it looks, okay, alright, it looks like this is an HDMI cord that has females, two females on one end, and two regular males on the other end. Here's the PlayStation VR itself. So, first impression is that it's light. It weighs 1.34 pounds or 610 grams. So, let's see what we got here. Now, from all reports, this is the most comfortable VR headset on the market right now. And that's because the Vive and the Oculus kind of push the headset on the front of your face, whereas this has this halo up here that actually sits on your head. So it's more like a visor almost than a headset. But I haven't tried it on, so I can't tell you firsthand. On the back, you have what appears to be two lights here. Again, this is for the tracking. That's why you have that camera. This is some sort of button here. I don't know if it's a locking. I don't know. There's a. Okay. There's something here. Don't want to break anything, but there's this this wheel here that allows you to adjust things apparently. Everything's this matte white plastic on the back. This is what it looks like from the side here. This is not a button, it's just an indent here. This is a plastic. It's a black plastic with a hash kind of design on it. This doesn't have a design on it, this white plastic, this white matte plastic. That is pretty much the halo, and again it's going to be interesting to see how that works. I don't want to mess with it too much. It's padded, it seems padded very well in here. Again, it has that hash kind of pattern on it. But it's padded here for your forehead and on the back here. Really nice padding. And on the sides here. And you can probably see the actual lenses in there. This is what it looks like from the front. So you have a light here, which will communicate with the camera. And then you have a light here, a light here, a light here, and a light here. You have your PlayStation branding on the side here. So let's peel this plastic off. There you go. You can see that glossy plastic with the matte plastic there. On the sides here, it's very rubbery. This rubber piece is probably just meant to kind of comfortably go towards your face and block out any of the light. Up here you have your Sony branding. So let's get that little piece of plastic off of there. There you go. I don't know if this is looking a little blue in this light, but this is all white. And then on the side here you have more PlayStation branding. There we go. So now on the inside, generally with these lenses, they're covered. In this case, they're covered, so I'm not going to take those covers off yet until I'm ready to use it. Here is this rubbery material here, and that's for your nose. And again, I think it's more so to block out any of the light that might be coming in. There's a big cavity here for your nose, so depending on the size of the nose, you should be accommodated here pretty well. Looks like there's probably a proximity sensor in there to tell the PlayStation VR when it's on and when it's not on. And it looks like there's no integrated audio in here. You do have, well, I don't know if this is a speaker or a mic here. You do have this button over here, which I don't know exactly what it does. I don't want to mess with it too much until I read the directions. Again, you have your PlayStation branding here, or your logos here, your triangle, circle, X, and square there. Now you do have this one cable coming off of the end. And those are your HDMI cords, or what appear to be HDMI cords. One might be and one might be a different proprietary cord. Looks like you have some sort of controls here. Let's pull this out of the bag here. So, yeah, one is HDMI and one is proprietary cord. So it has label 5 here, which I would imagine that's for setup. But I would imagine, because these are two HDMIs on the back of this, you plug your PlayStation VR into the front here. So this proprietary cord here would go in there, I would imagine. There we go. And then this HDMI goes in here, and then you push this forward, and everything's flush there. So you have a power button here, a mute button here, and a plus and a minus button here, which I assume are volume buttons. Now here is your headphone jack. So that's where you would use those included headphones. Of course, you'd probably want to upgrade the audio on this to something else, but I don't know, I haven't used it yet. So there is one last thing to look at, and these are probably all the accessories. Has to be, because there's nothing else in the box. These are all the extras that don't come with the base unit. Alright, first thing up. Oh wow, look at that. Okay, so not only do you get PlayStation VR Worlds, but you get a demo disc. So on PlayStation VR Worlds are everything that were advertised on the back of that box. So the London Heist, Scavenger's Odyssey, Ocean Descent, VR Luge, and Danger Ball. On the demo disc itself, let's see what we get here. We have Eve Valkyrie, Drive Club, Riggs Mechanized Combat League, Battlezone, Headmaster, Wayward Sky, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. I'm a huge Until Dawn fan. PlayStation VR Worlds, and Tumble VR. So, these are all demos. These are not full games, I would imagine. But they're rated E through M here, and this one is just rated M here. So, let's see what we got in here. There's a lot of cords, a lot of things in this. So, first thing up is a USB cord. Second thing up looks like the stand for the camera. Let's get this out. Now, they did redesign the camera. And that's the new stand for it. Kind of cool. Let's see, we have another USB cord here. We have a PlayStation VR microfiber cloth. Now this is good because you're going to want to be able to clean the lenses on the VR headset, and you don't want to generally use, any kind of paper towel or tissue or anything that will leave debris, or you also don't want to use any solvents. Up next we have the camera. Now this is the redesigned camera. It's a little more rounded on all the edges here. So I will be replacing my current camera with this. Of course, it's a stereoscopic camera, which helps it see depth. That's why we have two eyes as well. On the sides here, you see the PlayStation branding. And on this side as well. It's just basically a tube, matte black plastic with your lenses here, and I would imagine these are mics, so you have 4 mics there. So this camera will be able to see the lights on your PlayStation VR headset as well as the lights on your Move controllers. And this plugs into a port on the back of your PlayStation 4. So, last but not least, we have, well, hold on, I've got some documentation here. PlayStation camera and PlayStation Move controllers. Can't forget that. But these are the Move controllers. Now, these came out for the PlayStation 3, and I never used them before. I never have had my hands on these before. But just like a Wiimote, you have a lanyard. They fit nicely in the hand. This is a button right here. You have a PlayStation button here. You have your characteristic PlayStation buttons there, and then you have a trigger on the back. Select button on this side, and a start button on this side. So basically, everything that you would have on a regular PlayStation controller, except you don't have the bumpers. Well, you don't have the directional either. Of course, moving this in space is the equivalent to the analog controls. But up top here you have this little, looks like a ping pong ball, but it is not. It has a little debris on there. It's a rubberized ball at the tip. And of course there's a light behind that, and that's what the PlayStation Move or PlayStation camera picks up on. Everything is a matte black plastic. You have your Sony branding down here. So on the bottom you have your mini USB here, and then you have an expansion port here. And I believe that is for charging. Obviously the USB is for charging, but I think these are contact points for charging as well. You have sort of a line on the side here, your start button. That's the profile of it. Here's the back of it. You might have seen these before. You might have played with them before if you've played any PlayStation Move games. But you use this to control hands in PlayStation VR. The other controller looks to be identical, and it is. So these are identical controllers. You'll use one for each hand. So for those of you who are still with me here, you are the hardcore viewer. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm just going to take you on a quick tour around this box. I would assume everything in here is identical to the one box that was in the PlayStation VR launch bundle. Remember, there were two separate boxes, one that had the game in it and everything, and then the one that just had the headset in it and the companion box and all the cords. So I would assume that that is what's in here, because here is that box. As you can see, it's the same size in every way. There we go. So this is what's in here. So we've kind of done a virtual unboxing without unboxing this, because again, this is $400, a little over $400, so I do want to get that money back. Anyway, the front of that box here, or this box here, you have PlayStation VR with a representation of the headset there, and all your little Sony accoutrements going on the box here. Of course, your Sony branding up here. On the right side, you have an advertisement for Batman Arkham VR, PlayStation VR Worlds, and Farpoint coming in 2017, it says here. PlayStation VR powered by PlayStation 4. Greatness awaits, and here's some guy playing PlayStation VR. On the back here, there is a lot of stuff, including probably the serial number, seeing what you will need. You will need a camera, you will need a PlayStation 4, you will need a PlayStation controller, a DualShock 4. Apparently you don't need the Move controllers. So this basically just tells you what's included: the VR headset connection cable, processor unit, which is that companion box, stereo headphones, HDMI cable, USB cable, AC adapter, AC power cord, VR demo disc. So there is a demo disc in here. That's interesting. Lens cleaning cloth and printed materials. On this side you just have your PlayStation branding and the box. The bottom is very plain. So that is the PlayStation VR launch bundle, and it's probably a longer video than I had hoped it would be, but it's all a lot of interesting stuff here. I can't wait to dive into PlayStation VR and try this out. So that's going to do it for this video as my cat meows. And if you want to see more videos on PlayStation VR, click on the link at the end of this video, because I'll have several more. The next video I'll have on this is when I actually set it up for the very first time, and my impressions on PlayStation VR. So that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, of course, please post them down below. If you like what you see, please subscribe. And if you want to help out this channel, you can give me a thumbs up on this video. You can share this video on your favorite social media. You could leave me a tip on my YouTube page, or you could actually join my Patreon, all of which is greatly appreciated. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.